Tony D and Little Joan in the background, and this is your Screenwriter's Rant on Night Patrol, starring Justin Long, a thriller and horror movie about some LAPD cops who become vampires. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy, horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 18, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. Apparently they need fake fangs in order to bite people in this. I don't know. But Justin Long has always wanted to be a cop, and he gets inducted into the Night Patrol, which is a secret group of cops who are actually vampires. And then the good guys are, of course, the locals, who I guess are up to some amount of criminality, and they're going to kill all the cops. Is this just an excuse to kill a bunch of cops on screen? Because that's kind of what it feels like. Because they didn't even lead with the vampire stuff. It was weird how they sort of roll into it. But I do like the concept. But it's coming out in January. That's not a good sign. Starring Jermaine Fowler, Justin Long, Freddie Gibbs, AJ Kryler, with Dermot Mulroney, of course. Phil Brooks, I don't remember him. So, and I guess some rap guys, because this guy's name is Keenan Daquan YG Ray Jackson. That's the blackest name I ever heard, I think. So, I guess they put in... Are they actually vampires? They have to be vampires. They have to be. Because there is a scene when they shoot a guy and he gets back up, so... And then here's Justin Long. I guess they turn him into a vampire. Or maybe a half vampire. And he's drinking blood. That kind of makes him irredeemable. But he looks like the main character in the film. And then it switches over to the guys on the street. Kind of a confusing trailer. I think you should lead with vampires. You got vampires in your movie. I'm in. Okay? I'm in. You got to show me the vampires, though. And don't be coy about it. Why are you going to pretend like, oh, I don't know what's happening. People are being drained of their blood. Oh, they didn't bother this cross or this mirror or this pile of garlic. And we know what vampires are. Just get to the vampires. Don't beat around the bush, as they say. Just get to the damn vampires. Have the scene where one of the characters goes, oh my God, they're vampires. They're vampires? Just go right to that scene. Start the movie there. If you want to really save us some time. Start the movie. Oh my God, the neighborhood's overrun by vampires. That should be the first line in the movie. Get to the point. I don't need a bunch of wind up unless you have a super interesting character. This is... not a particularly interesting character. Justin Long's like, oh, I always wanted to be a cop. Always wanted to be a cop. We've seen that a million times. I've always wanted to be a cop, and then he becomes a cop, but then he becomes corrupt. Blah, blah, blah. So, get to the point. All right, first act, Justin Long is a cop. He always wanted to be a cop. And then I guess they're going to do it like a metaphor for corrupt cops. And he, I don't know, is inducted into the Night Patrol. Because they're like the elites. They do whatever the hell they want. But it turns out they're vampires. And they turn Justin Long into a vampire. And then there's a bunch of other guys who we don't really get to know in the trailer who are fighting the vampires. But are they criminals too? They seem kind of criminal. They got a lot of guns. I just assume in a movie... a guy with that many guns, he's probably a drug dealer. But maybe not. And then there's a big fight between the vampires and the dudes with guns. And the dudes with guns win, I guess. Maybe they kill the lead vampire. And that cures everybody. I don't know. Seems overly complicated for a pretty straightforward vampire movie. Here's the write up. An LAPD officer must put aside his differences with the area's street gangs when he discovers a local police task force is harboring a horrific secret that endangers the residents of the housing projects he grew up in. Oh, okay. So that's puts a different spin on it. Says Justin Long, CM Punk vampire thriller horror movie, January 16th. Yeah, that's not a good sign. Now on the upside, it's after Christmas, so you didn't drop the vampire movie in Christmas, which is always a dumb move. They dropped Nosferatu in Christmas. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. But really, you should have dropped this at Halloween. This would have been a fun movie at Halloween. You know, these are Halloween movies. Why not drop them end of September, early October? Drop them in January. That tells me you don't have a lot of confidence in this thing. And not for nothing, Justin Long, I don't think he can carry a film by himself. But who can these days? Almost no one. Almost no one has the charisma or the track record. Maybe Chris Pratt. Maybe a handful of others. But Justin Long, I mean, people know his name, so that's a plus. I don't know. It doesn't look very fun. And doesn't really tell me enough in the trailer. The write-up helped. That he has a personal connection with the housing project. Okay. But why are the vampire cops picking on that particular housing project? I mean, they're vampires. They could feed wherever they want. They don't have to pick on a housing project in L.A. I mean, don't get me wrong. That's a good cover for a bunch of vampires. But, you know, there's lots of places in L.A. L.A.'s pretty big. So, there's got to be some more to this plot. Not really feeling it. Feels a bit disjointed. And not sure what's going on here. I don't know. You watch it. You tell me. Would I see it? I told you. Vampires. I'm in. I wouldn't go to the movies, though, for it. And I don't have a lot of confidence in it because it is dropping in January. That is the dumping ground for movies. January, February, generally speaking, the dumping ground for movies. There are a couple exceptions. Vampires, yeah, not an exception. So, yeah, wouldn't go to the theater for it. Probably wouldn't go to the theater for a lot of things. But I might catch it on streaming if it was free and I was up for a vampire movie and it got some good reviews. That's really going to be the key. If it's got, you know, maybe the nerds see it and they say you gotta see this movie. I don't know. It's not a bad premise, though. That's what I like about it. That's a cool premise. One of the cops, you know, the cops become vampires. That's a tough vampire to beat. Group of vampire cops. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan somewhere behind me. Thanks for tuning in today. I will be at the Cherry Hill Library on Wednesday for my 7 p.m. talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil. Hope you'll join me. We'll see you in the next one.